Hey coders, welcome back. So in the last video, I took this on-site interview one from the LeetCode assessment section, and we solved four questions. Yeah, related to one was string, one was on binary tree, and the other one was on LCA. Sorry, the binary tree one was on the LCA, and the fourth one was LRU cache. So if you haven't seen that video before, you can check that out in my channel. Yeah, so it took me like 1 hours and 30 minutes to solve all these problems. And yeah, we go through multiple errors and we solve it on the live. So it was fun. So today I'm again planning to record one more session. So we already have one phone interview one. We already have solved one online assessment and this on-site interview. So let's try to go into the cycle and let's come back again to this phone interview one. So today I'm planning to solve phone interview sections. So if you don't know, so these are assessment. There is assessment section in the lead code where they basically select two or three questions of set, right? And then you can try to simulate a real interview scenario. And the questions are pretty good. They are pretty standard and they have been asked in real company. So yeah, the questions will be pretty good. They will be on standard, right? So let's start today again with this phone interview one. So if you don't know me, my name is Rajan, and yeah, I'm going to solve all these questions live. There will be no editing or no. Even I don't know what questions I'm gonna get after selecting this page. So it will be new for me also. So yeah, we're gonna solve it together and try to understand my thoughts. What are the things I know about the questions? How am I approaching the question and all? So yeah, let's get started. So this is the phone interview. It says like it can have up to three questions. So it generally three questions, sometimes two questions, right? And then we will get like 1 hour and 30 minutes to solve this question. So let's start. So you see here on the top, you can see we have question one and question two. So we're gonna have two questions, right? Let me check my screen. Yeah, it is visible. Okay, so the first question says, given an integer num, find the three numbers whose product is maximum and return its maximum product, right? So, I mean, it looks very easy on the first sight, right? But the only problem it gets is like when so numbers it can contain negative numbers too, right? So that's the place we have to make sure we are correct. Otherwise, if the numbers are positive only, then we can sort it and take the numbers, uh, three biggest numbers, right? And that will be our answer. But here, there will be multiple scenario I can think of, right? So yeah. So what are the cases? How we can optimize? How we can maximize the three numbers, right? So let's think of. So what I'm thinking is maybe case one is pretty easy. I try to find the max three max positive numbers, right? So try to find uh, three max numbers, three largest numbers, mm, largest positive numbers. Okay, three positive numbers, right? So for example, in this case, since there are no negative, the three largest numbers in this array will be 1, 2, 3, and the product is going to be 6, right? That's correct. What other option we can have? We can also have case 2, where we might have um only two positive number, right? Only two positive number, and rest of them are negative. Then what needs to be done in this case? Right, so this is another case I can think of right now. And case 3 might be something like all numbers are negative. Then how we can maximize the product? Currently, I'm able to think these three cases, but I'm not sure. And there might be others. So what are the things we need? So the very first thing I will do now, I will sort this array. Um, you don't need to sort it actually. You can try to find all this scenario using just a three variable, but that will be messy. I mean, yes, if you only needed only positive numbers, no, then we can use like int a, b, and c. Initialize a, b, c some minimum numbers, and then try to find what are the three largest number in the array. So you don't need sorting at that time. But here, since we have multiple cases, no, I think it is good if we can sort the array basically, right? So, so what? Let's initialize our answer as a integer dot main value. Since numbers can be negative, and we have to make sure we are assuming our answer correctly. So, what is the first case? The first case will be answer is equals to math dot max of, I can say, answer comma nums of, and we always going to have a numbers from 3, and size of the array will always be greater than or equals to 3. So that's good. You can extract the size, and then I can say something like n minus 1 into nums n minus 2 into nums n minus 3. So this is, I think, happy case when all the numbers are positive, then this might give me the best answer. But what if there are some negative numbers, right? So that's why this question become a little bit tricky. Okay, so what I'm thinking now, we let's sort it, the array, and let's try to focus on the last three number and try to find what uh, possible maximum answer it can have, right? So if all the numbers are positive, I'm gonna return this. Okay, this is the first case. The second case, there might be one negative number. So if you see this example, example number 2, I can show you here. So we might have something like minus. No, we're not going to have a minus. So this is the positive case. We might have like two negative numbers, right? Two negative numbers, and we can take this multiplication of two negative numbers, and that will become positive. And then I can take the positive of that result into the maximum of again the array number, right? So I'm thinking of some a case like this. Let me show like I have sorted the array, na? So minus 4, and let's say sorry minus 5, and let's say minus 2, and some number something like this, and 8, a case like this. So we gonna have no, not like this. Um, yeah, let's change this to minus 3, and here I'm gonna say 2. So let's say we have a case like this where I have sorted the array. So now this is in the happy case. I'm assuming this is my answer, right? So 5, 8, 40, 42. Yeah, it is 80, right? Yeah. So either this can be case, but if you see here, if I take minus 5 minus 3, which is like 15, and then 15 into 8 also give me the best answer, right? So it is like 15 into 8, like 120, right? So 120 will be my answer. So I have to take care of this case also. So basically take the two lowest negative number and then try to multiply with the last number. So let's incorporate this one also. So answer is equals to math dot max of answer nums of 0 into nums of 1 into nums of n minus 1. So these are the two cases. Am I missing any other case? What if all the numbers are negative, right? So something like this. Let me show you. Maybe minus 1, no, minus 10, minus 8, minus 2, and then something like minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, something like this. Yeah. In this case, what we gonna have, how we gonna have the maximum value? So if I take all these numbers from the beginning, so this will give me like 80, and 80 into minus 2, it gives me like minus 160, way negative. If I just take this number, minus 1 into minus 1, it gives me like minus 1, and this should be the happier case. So I think this condition, the first condition, will handle this also, right? This is what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure. Let's try. Hmm. Yeah, I think this will be handled by the first case, but first scenario, like this one, line number 7, if you are saying. Uh, mm, yeah, I think this will work. Now, what if we have something like this? So this is the case-based question, guys. So, like sometimes, na, you don't need algorithm or any data structure. It's just you have to go through all the different cases that you can form and try to solve that. So what I'm saying, so this is I think being handled by our condition. What if we have only one negative number and something like 2, 3, 4? So if the size is greater than 3, then of course I'm gonna take this one. These are the maximum. After the sorting, that's fine. But if the size is only 3, so um so 0, 1, and I think this is also being handled. If we have a multiple numbers, so yeah, this will that will be handled. Okay, I think this is enough for this one. Let's try running it and see if I'm missing anything. I'm not sure about it. Of course, for these ones, I think pretty standard. I will get here 6, I will get here 24, and for this one, I will get like minus 3 into minus 2 into minus 1, and that's fine. Let's try submitting it. Okay, no, yeah, guys. So these are the enough conditions, right? So we have discussed all the different scenarios. So I hope you are clear about it. So let's go to the next question. Okay. So this is the question. It says, given an array of string, words, and integer k, return the k most frequent string. Okay. And return the answer sorted by the frequency from highest to lowest. Sort the words with the same frequency by their lexicographical order. Okay. So you should, for this question, the very first thing, the prerequisite I can think of is you should know your comparators in your programming language. For example, in Java, we basically pass it in as a lambda, or there is a comparator interface that we can use, and there is a different implementation of it. We can also write our custom comparator at the time of sorting, right? So, what is the first thing I can think of what I'm gonna use for this problem? Okay, so I'm saying the question, but the very first time I can think of you should know map, right? Or even you can use if you see here, all the characters are lowercase letter, so you can also use integer array as a frequency. I can show you. I will show you the both approaches. If you're comfortable with data structure, go with map, right? Or you can use an integer array also, right, to count the frequency. But here, I think we have to count the frequency of send words, not the characters, right? So this will not work, of course. Frequency will not work. So you should know map, how you gonna put your operation in a map, how gonna get your operation in a map, right? So this is the first prerequisite, and then how we have to make sure that all the strings are being sorted. So that's the second thing. Okay, and we have to return the k most frequent string. Uh, okay. So there are multiple ways I can think of. Hmm. Yeah, it is, I think, sorting kind of problem. So what I'm gonna do now? So for each word, I'm going to get its frequency, right? So that's the very first step. Like get the frequency of each word from word. How we're gonna do that? I will create a map of a string and integer. So key will be string, value will be integer, right? New hash map, and then I'm gonna iterate over each of my words, and I just put. I can use the merge method, right? So this is like a kind of shortcut. I recently learned this method. So what it does is, so if the word coming the for the very first time, no, we will simply doing map dot put and the word colon one, right? Map dot put w comma one. If the key is already exists now, I'm gonna add one in it. Simple. You can either use get and put together, but this is I think more cleaner. That's why I use it. So yeah, this is nothing but it is just calculating the frequency of each word, right? So that's the first word. That's the first I think main concept of this algo. So what second now? I can create a list something called, because you see here after running this map now I get some result something like this. Like I is coming like two times for the first example, you see, and then love is coming how many times? One, two times, right? So this is how we get. So what I'm gonna do, since we also need to sort these numbers based on frequency, so I'm gonna create a list that gonna store the string and its frequency, and then we try to sort it first based on its frequency, right? So let me show you what I'm saying. Um, so we have to store string and the frequency, basically string and an integer. So let's I can create a record. You can create a class also, no problem. So I can say string word and its frequency, something like this. So it's nothing but a class with getters and setters method. If you are aware of record pattern, and then we can say, okay, let's create a list of pair list, new array list, and then I'm gonna iterate all the entries of my map, right? So that is for war entry map dot entry set. I don't remember the syntax. I hope this is correct method. We will see. And then I can simply say list dot add new pair. The first thing I need to pass is the word, so that will be entry dot get key. And the second thing I need to pass is frequency, so I can say entry dot get value. Right. So this is my list. Now, what's the second thing I need to do? I need to sort this. Sort it based on its frequency. So I can simply say list dot sort. I'm gonna get A and B, and I can sort it based on, I can use the integer dot compare, and then say something like A dot frequency, no, not capital A dot, sorry, A dot frequency, and then B dot frequency. And then I can get the first k elements, and that will be my answer. But one more thing here, we need to make sure we have done this part in the sorting, right? So we sorted based on frequency. Now, if the frequency is same, we have to sort it in their lexicographical order, right? So only this condition will not work. This will work when A dot frequency is not equals to B dot frequency, right? So something like we can use a ternary operator. So if the frequency is not same, sort it based on frequency. Otherwise, we have to compare the value, right? So I can say something like string dot compare A dot W and B dot W. I think this is string that I think there is a compare to method, and then I don't know whether we have this compare method or not. Okay, we will see if there is some error comes. And now, uh, what is this? Oopsie. This is the for loop for this one. This is the for loop for this one, and I think I need one more. Yeah, and I need to put this wrapper. Okay, so this is one drawback of not using IDE, but I hope you get the idea. So I can make an inline wrapper. Maybe I can create my record here, right? Uh, okay, we have some mistakes, I think. Yeah, now it's fine. And this is our method. This is our class, and I don't need this one. Okay. Now let's get the first k item. So I hope k will always be less than equals to unique word in a length. Yeah, that's correct. So I can just say list of string, or maybe I can use the limit stream. So I can say something like list. Okay, something like return list dot stream dot um we only need to take the first k element, right? So we have something like drop, while, and some method is there, but okay, I don't remember the syntax, so I'm gonna simple do something like this: I is equals to 0, I less than k, I plus plus, and answer that add list dot get I dot w, and I'm gonna return this answer. So let's create this answer string. Right? Yeah, I think this is it. Let me try running it. Uh, okay, so we have one error in our comparator, line number 16, because I messed up some condition. Okay, very hard. So many brackets, right? Yeah, I think we have extra bracket. Integer dot compare. Okay, we have to put one bracket here. Okay, let me hide it. One bracket here, and then one bracket here, and then one bracket here. Now it looks good. Let me run it. Okay. Now what's the issue? This string dot compare. I don't think we have something like this. String dot compare. What was the method? Can I directly do a dot w dot compare to b dot w? I think so. I think we can do that. Let me try that. Uh, compare. Okay. So we have to remove this one. I can say a dot w. Oh, sorry. A dot w dot compare to b dot w. Something like that. Let me try it. Okay. So at least we are getting success compile time, but the answer is not correct, right? So it's a, you see here, I'm getting coding and lead code, and that is wrong because I should get I and this. Why? Because if you see in my comparator here, I was using a dot f minus b dot f, but I have to use b dot f because I want in reverse order, right? I wanted to get the frequency with higher number comes first. So let's check again now. Yeah, I'm now getting I love. Let's try submitting it. Yes. So yeah, I hope you like it. Um, so yeah, you need to know, I think For this question, the prerequisite will be you should know your map in whatever programming language you are used to, and you should be comfortable writing your custom comparator, like here I'm doing for this list dot sort and this thing. That's the second thing. And yeah, I will be able to solve this question then. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you like it. Let me know if you have any problem in the comment section. Thank you so much.